You are sleeping with the enemy, not literally, but psychologically. You invite them to dinner. You text them good morning. You tell them your fears, your dreams, and your secrets. You think you are building a connection, but you are actually handing them the blueprints to your own destruction. Most people believe that danger looks like a monster. They think a dangerous person has a scowl, a weapon, or a criminal record. This is a childish fantasy. Niccolo Machiavelli, the man who saw the human soul without its makeup, knew the truth. Real danger doesn't frown. It smiles. It compliments. It offers help before you even ask for it. The most dangerous people in your life are not the ones who hate you openly. An open enemy is a blessing. You know where they stand. You can defend yourself. No, the people who will truly ruin you, who will drain your bank account, destroy your reputation, and shatter your sanity, are the ones currently sitting at your table. They are the Trojan horses of the human psyche. You are watching this because you feel it. A subtle friction in your relationships. A sense of exhaustion you can't explain. You are here because you are tired of being the prey. In this video, we are going to perform an autopsy on your social circle. We will use the ruthless, unfiltered lens of Machiavelli's philosophy to identify the 7 types of people you must excise from your life immediately, not distance yourself from. Excise, like a tumor. This is not about being toxic. That is a weak, modern word. This is about survival. Because if you do not identify them now, by the time they reveal their true face, you will already be bleeding. Let's begin the surgery. Number 1. The weaver of covert debts. There is a type of person who appears to be the most generous soul you have ever met. They give you gifts you didn't ask for. They offer favors you didn't need. They rush to your side when you have a minor inconvenience. You think, what a good friend. Machiavelli would say, you are being purchased. In The Prince, Machiavelli discusses the concept of obligation. He understood that men are driven by 2 things, fear and self-interest. But there is a third chain that binds men stronger than steel: debt. The weaver of covert debts weaponizes generosity. They do not give to help you, they give to indebt you. Every favor is a coin placed in a meter, and eventually the time runs out. They are creating a covert contract. You didn't sign it, you didn't agree to it. But in their mind, because they listened to you complain about your boss for 3 hours, you now owe them your loyalty, your time, and your submission. Watch for the person who keeps score. Watch for the phrase, after everything I've done for you. The moment you hear those words, the mask has slipped. A true gift has no strings. A bribe has a rope attached. This person is dangerous because they make you doubt your own autonomy. When you try to set a boundary, they call you ungrateful. And because you are a decent person, you believe them. You fold. You let them cross the line again. Machiavelli warned that he who causes another to become powerful ruins himself. By accepting their unsolicited help, you are giving them power over your conscience. The fix: stop accepting free things. If you didn't ask for it, reject it politely, or pay it back immediately. If they buy you dinner, buy them a drink 10 minutes later. Cancel the debt before it compounds. If they get offended that you settled the score, you have found your weaver. Cut the string. Number 2. The information spy. Knowledge is not just power, it is ammunition. We have all met someone who gets too deep, too fast. You meet them, and within an hour, they are telling you about their childhood trauma, their darkest fears, their sins. They make themselves incredibly vulnerable. Your empathy kicks in. You feel honored that they trust you. The social dynamic of reciprocity demands that you match their energy. So, you lower your shield. You tell them about your marriage problems. You tell them what you really think of your boss. You tell them your weakness. You have just handed a loaded gun to a toddler. This is the information spy. They use false vulnerability as a hacking tool. They aren't opening up to heal. They are opening up to get you to lower the drawbridge. Machiavelli advised princes to be secretive, to never let your intentions be known. Why? Because if your enemy knows what you fear, they know where to strike. The information spy collects secrets like trading cards, and they will trade them. Have you noticed that this person always has gossip about others? They tell you things they shouldn't be saying about their other friends. Here is a rule of human physics. If they do it with you, they will do it to you. The danger here is reputation, destruction. When the relationship inevitably sours, and it will, because these types crave drama, your secrets will become their currency. They will rewrite history, using your own vulnerabilities to paint you as the villain and themselves as the victim. The fix. Practice the art of grey rocking. Be boring. When they dump trauma on you too early, do not reciprocate. Listen, nod, but keep your mouth shut about your own life. Watch their reaction. If they press, if they probe, if they ask, "Come on, tell me. I told you my stuff." You are looking at a spy. Close the file. Number 3. The architect of misfortune. There is nothing more dangerous than associating with those who are drowning. A loose adaptation of Machiavellian thought, but accurate to his philosophy on fortune. Machiavelli believed in fortuna, luck. He believed that some people are favored by it and some are cursed by it. But if you look closely at the cursed, you will see a pattern. This is the person who is always in a crisis. If it's not their car, it's their health. If it's not their health, it's a crazy ex. If it's not the ex, it's an unfair boss. They are the architect of misfortune. At first, you feel sorry for them. You want to save them. You are the hero. But you need to look closer. Their bad luck is almost always the result of poor impulse control, lack of discipline, and a refusal to learn from mistakes. But they will never admit that. To them, the universe is a bully. Why are they dangerous? Because misfortune is contagious. Not in a mystical way, but in a practical way. If you tie your boat to a sinking ship, you do not keep them afloat. They pull you down. Their crisis becomes your crisis. Their emergency drains your time, your money, and your mental bandwidth. Machiavelli was ruthless about this. He advised avoiding the unlucky not out of superstition, but out of self-preservation. These people are black holes. They swallow light. No matter how much energy you pour into them, they remain dark. They don't want a solution. If you offer them a solution, they will find a reason why it won't work. They want a witness to their suffering. They want you to validate their victimhood so they don't have to change. The fix. Observe the pattern. Is it a bad month or is it a bad life? If chaos follows them like a shadow, step out of the shade. You cannot save someone who is addicted to their own destruction. Number 4. The mirror. Princes, Machiavelli wrote, have no other way of guarding themselves against flattery than by letting men understand that they will not offend you by speaking the truth. But most of us are not princes. We are insecure. We crave validation. We want to be told we are smart, attractive, and right. Enter the mirror. This person agrees with everything you say. If you hate a movie, they hate it too. If you change your mind 5 minutes later, they change theirs too. They have no identity of their own. They are a reflection of yours. It feels amazing. Finally, someone who gets you. Wrong. They don't get you. They are hiding from you. The mirror is dangerous because they conceal their true intentions behind a wall of agreement. You never know where you actually stand with them. A friend who argues with you respects you. A friend who blindly agrees with you is manipulating you. Machiavelli despised flatterers. He saw them as the plague of courts. Why? Because they insulate you from reality. They feed your ego until you become blind to your own mistakes. But the danger goes deeper. The mirror is usually a chameleon. They are mirroring you today to get what they want. Tomorrow, if it serves them to align with your enemy, they will mirror your enemy. They will nod and agree while your enemy destroys your reputation, just as they nodded and agreed with you. They have no loyalty to people, only to power. If you are the one with power, they are your shadow. The moment you stumble, they are gone. The fix: test them. Intentionally state an opinion you know is slightly controversial or even wrong. See if they agree. Then later, contradict yourself. See if they shift. If they have no backbone, they have no loyalty. A person who stands for nothing will fall for anything, and they will take you with them. Number 5. The moral assassin. There is a specific kind of sadism that disguises itself as virtue. You know this person. They are brutally honest. They are just trying to help you be better. They use morality, religion, or social justice as a weapon to beat you into submission. This is the moral assassin. They don't attack you with insults, they attack you with standards, impossible standards. They highlight your flaws under the guise of improvement. I'm telling you this because I love you, but you've really gained weight. I don't think you're working hard enough on your business. Machiavelli knew that it is necessary for a prince who wishes to maintain himself to learn how not to be good. The moral assassin uses goodness as a tool for dominance. By positioning themselves as the judge of your behavior, they place themselves above you. It is a power play. They thrive on your guilt. If you are around someone who makes you feel constantly inadequate, who makes you feel like you are always apologizing, you are in the presence of a predator. They are eroding your self-esteem so that you become dependent on their approval. They want you to seek their validation like a dog begging for a treat, and they will give it sparingly, just enough to keep you on the leash. The fix: stop justifying yourself. The moment you start explaining your actions, you accept their frame that you are on trial. You are not. When they criticize you for your own good, look them in the eye and say, "I didn't ask for your feedback." Watch their reaction. Their virtue will turn to rage very quickly. That rage is their true face. Number 6. The neutral saboteur. The one who is not with you is against you. A concept Machiavelli touched upon when discussing alliances. In times of conflict, the most dangerous person is not the one fighting you. It is the one standing on the sidelines, watching, waiting to see who wins. This is the neutral saboteur. They are friends with you, but they are also friends with the person who betrayed you. They say, "I just don't want to get involved. I'm friends with both of you. I see both sides." This sounds mature. It is actually cowardice disguised as diplomacy. By refusing to take a stand against disrespect or betrayal, they are enabling it. Their silence is endorsement. Machiavelli despised neutrality. He argued that irresolute princes generally come to ruin. Why must you avoid them? Because they are leaks in your vessel. You cannot trust them with your plans, your feelings, or your defense. They will trade your information to the other side to maintain their neutral status. They want to be liked by everyone, which means they are loyal to no one. When the war comes, and life is war, you need soldiers, not spectators. The neutral saboteur will watch you bleed out and then tell the winner, "I never really liked him anyway." The fix: force a choice. This person hurt me deeply. Continuing to associate with them is hurtful to me. If they refuse to choose, they have made their choice. They chose themselves. You should do the same. We have covered 6 of the 7 faces of danger: the weaver, the spy, the architect, the mirror, the assassin, and the saboteur. But the seventh is the most devastating of all. Because the 7th type doesn't just hurt you, they become you. They consume your identity until there is nothing left. This is the archetype that Machiavelli feared the most in his own political life, the one that ended careers and toppled dynasties. And chances are you are mistaking their behavior for love right now. Number 7. The envious mimic. There is a form of hatred that looks exactly like admiration. You meet someone who puts you on a pedestal. They love your style. They love your ideas. They start dressing like you. They start using your vocabulary. They take up your hobbies. They ask for your advice on everything. At first, your ego loves it. You feel like a mentor. You feel like a leader. But then the shift happens. They start taking credit for your ideas. They start befriending your friends behind your back, telling them stories that sound slightly off. They start competing with you in areas where there was no competition before. This is the envious mimic. Machiavelli observed that men are so simple that he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. The mimic deceives you by wearing your own face. The psychological mechanism here is not just jealousy. Jealousy is wanting what you have. Envy is wanting you not to have it. The mimic does not want to be like you. They want to replace you. They suffer from a pathological lack of self. They are a void looking for a shape, and they have chosen your shape. But because they cannot actually be you, because they lack your lived experience, your trauma, your resilience, they resent you. They hate you for having the substance they lack. This relationship always ends in betrayal. It has to. Because as long as you exist, you are a reminder of their inauthenticity. To fully become the character they are playing, they must destroy the original. If you have a friend who copies you a little too closely, who gets a little too angry when you succeed without them, who tries to isolate you from others so they can have you all to themselves, wake up. You are nurturing your own executioner. The fix: starve the copy. Stop giving them the blueprint. Withhold your true thoughts, your next moves, your real feelings. Watch them panic. When they can no longer feed on your identity, they will lash out, and then they will leave to find a new host. Let them. Now, we must put down the scalpel and pick up the mirror. Identifying these 7 types is the easy part. The hard part, the part that will actually change your life, is answering the uncomfortable question: why are they at your table? Dangerous people do not break into your life. You invite them in. You give them the key. You pour them a drink. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince who is not wise himself cannot be wisely counseled." If your life is full of parasites, it is because you have created an ecosystem that feeds them. You are the common denominator. We must look at the 3 internal weaknesses that act as magnets for these dangerous types. If you do not fix these, you will cut off 1 head of the hydra and 2 more will grow back. Weakness A. The savior complex. You attract the architect of misfortune and the covert debtor because you need to feel needed. You derive your self-worth from fixing others. You think you are being good, but you are actually being arrogant. You believe you have the power to change human nature. You don't. By trying to save everyone, you are merely signaling that you have no boundaries. You are a resource to be harvested. Weakness B. The fear of solitude. You tolerate the neutral saboteur and the spy because you are terrified of being alone. You would rather have fake friends than no friends. You keep the seat filled because the silence of an empty room forces you to face your own thoughts. Machiavelli knew that a strong leader must be able to stand alone. If you cannot be happy in an empty room, you will always be a slave to whoever walks through the door. Weakness C. The need for validation. You fall for the mirror and the flatterer because you do not know your own value. You need an external source to tell you that you are good, smart, or worthy. This is a fatal flaw. As long as your self-esteem is outsourced to others, they own you. They can lift you up and they can drop you, and they will drop you the moment it serves them. So how do you remove them? Most people do this wrong. They have a big confrontation. They write a long letter. They scream. They cry. They seek closure. This is a mistake. Machiavelli taught us that it is much safer to be feared than loved. But in the modern context, we can adapt this. It is much safer to be a ghost than a warrior. Confrontation gives them data. It tells them they hurt you. It gives them a chance to gaslight you, to argue, to play the victim. It feeds the drama they crave. Do not give them that satisfaction. Use the Machiavellian fade. 1. The starvation diet. Stop feeding the dynamic. If they are a spy, stop giving info. If they are a victim, stop giving help. If they are a mirror, stop giving opinions. Become boring. Become gray. When the transaction stops, they will naturally drift away to find a new source. 2. The slow reply. You don't need to block them immediately. unless they are abusive. Just slow down. Reply to texts 6 hours later, then 24 hours later, then 3 days later. Be busy. Dilute the connection until it dissolves. 3. The emotional firewall. Be polite but impenetrable. Treat them like a coworker you don't know very well. I'm good, thanks. Hope you're well. No details, no hooks. 4. The guillotine, for extreme cases. If they are the envious mimic or the moral assassin, subtlety might not work. You may need to cut the cord, but do it briefly. This dynamic isn't healthy for me anymore. I wish you the best, but I need space. Then, total silence. No explanations, no debates. The explanation is the trap. When you excise these people, something terrifying will happen. The void. Your phone will stop buzzing. Your weekends will be empty. The drama that occupied your brain will vanish, leaving a silence that rings in your ears. You will feel the urge to fill it. You will feel the urge to text them back. You will feel bored. Do not break. This boredom is not emptiness, it is peace. This silence is not loneliness, it is space. Space for what? Space for the people who actually deserve you. Machiavelli said that opportunities are born of the moment. You cannot meet the high-value, loyal, dangerous in a good way people if your schedule is clogged with parasites. You are clearing the weeds so the garden can grow. Imagine a life where you only speak to people who inspire you, people who challenge you to be better, not to be smaller, people who celebrate your wins without a hidden grimace of envy, people who have their own lives and respect yours. This life is possible, but it costs something. It costs you the comfort of your old, toxic tribe. You must be willing to walk through the desert alone to reach the oasis. We have talked about the 7 people you must avoid. The weaver, the spy, the architect, the mirror, the assassin, the saboteur, the mimic. But there is one more, the 8th person, the one who allowed all of this to happen, the one who ignored the red flags, the one who stayed too long, the one who was afraid to speak up. You. The ultimate Machiavellian lesson is self-mastery. You cannot control the nature of others. The scorpion will sting, the liar will lie, the thief will steal. That is their nature. But you can control the gates to your own fortress. If you find yourself surrounded by enemies, it is because you left the gate open. Close it. Raise your standards. Sharpen your discernment. Become ruthless with your time. Not because you hate people, but because you respect yourself. Your life is a finite resource. Every minute you spend with a psychological vampire is a minute you steal from your purpose, your family, and your future self. Stop negotiating with terrorists. Stop sleeping with the enemy. Wake up, look around the table, and if you don't like what you see, flip the table and walk away. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.